Welcome back to another track review here at Toronto Motorsports Park, this time in the Angevin Motorsports V8 swapped NB Miata. If you guys watched our supercharged Miata versus turbocharged Miata video, and if you haven't, we'll throw a link up there in the top right corner. This is Brad Angevin, and this is the NB Miata, which used to be a supercharged 1.8 liter BP motor, the classic Miata setup, and you have since then made a few changes.
A couple, yeah.
By adding 4 cylinders and removing a supercharger mostly.
Yes, yep.
So you put I assume it's an LS base motor in there?
Yep, an LS1 5.7 liter from Camaro SS 2000.
Yep.
With a matching T56 transmission and a get drag rear end.
That's all it needed, man.
Yeah, and other than that, it's the same car you drove before.
So you didn't have to like up the front spring rates or make the front brakes bigger or anything like that?
Nope. We're obviously still playing with the whole suspension and balancing of it, but it's give or take the same-ish weight it would be from before.
Okay.
We never had it counterbalance before, but now we know that it's 2,600 pounds with a full tank of gas.
So maybe we should quickly recap though for people what mods are done to it other than the motor swap. What suspension are you on?
HSD coilovers.
Okay.
The Monopros.
Yeah.
Just the two-way adjustable.
Yeah. Brakes are
the Wilwood 6-piston big brake kit.
Okay.
Now we're actually on a bigger sway bar. It's a 32 mil from Racing Beat.
Bigger front sway bar.
Yeah, big front sway bar now. We were just having it dive a little bit more with extra momentum and stuff.
Yeah.
The wing, a PR wing.
It's got to have a wing. It's a race car.
Obviously. Half cage, Kirky seat, harnesses, and other than that.
Go rip. By the way, what's it tuned with?
Tuned on HP tuners with just the factory GM computer.
Okay.
So very simple setup.
Yeah.
Easy to figure out, easy to learn.
And it made like 400 at the wheel.
Yeah, 402 at the wheel.
Perfect. Well, let's go and see what 402 wheel horsepower feels like in a Miata. Just gonna put a little heat in the Pirelli P0s here. I should mention it's on a 225 all around. Holy crap, that thing's fast. It's gonna take a minute to get some heat in the tires. And obviously with this much power, more tire would be a good thing. Brad and I were chatting earlier about it, and he's going to put a custom 5-bolt 17-inch wheel on this thing so he can go to a 255 and fit some bigger brakes up front. So let's just call this part 2 of the Angevin Motorsports track testing experience, because I'm sure we'll be back once he makes those mods. But in the meantime, tell you that LS1s make good power, that's for damn sure. It's gonna be a traction limited experience here, boys and girls. There's no question we got more power than traction, so it's gonna just be about managing those tires and not overdriving it like a show off. So just gonna ease my way into it here and see how she goes. I think it's fast, properly fast. Wow. Whoa, it's a Miata, still wants to slide. Oh, I forgot where the rev limit is. Looks like it's about 6,500 RPM, and I got a Miata tack in here, which made me think I have more revs to play with. So, with apologies to you commenters who hate the sound of a rev limiter, I'll try not to hit that again for you. Wow, this thing is gonna be a handful. It's got so much torque, I don't think I even need second gear through here. Let's find out. Yeah, wow. Man, this thing is a rocket ship. My God. Woohoo! It's well balanced though, like when it gets into a slide, it's still a Miata. Oh, just fighting the diff there a bit. Wow, what a machine this thing is. It is a handful. This is a man's Miata right here. It's a little bouncy, I gotta say. The HSDs feel like maybe they're a little overwhelmed by this track. I mean, this is a bit of a bumpy track. Definitely challenges the suspension. Man, the brakes are good. I gotta trust the brakes a bit more because they are really good. You really only need third gear. You don't need second gear because it's got so much torque. It's just traction limited, man. I need more tire. It's just so traction limited. There's no ABS, I don't think, so I gotta be a little bit wary of that. Woo-hoo, this thing is a bear. I'm struggling with that third gear downshift. I'm having to use the top of my foot to heel and toe. Just not ideal, but we're making it work. It's just sliding everywhere. You need more tire, Brad. You need more tire. Of a differential issue. It just doesn't really want to put the power down in those tight corners. I don't know what diff he's got in the rear. I think he mentioned it in the opening. I don't recall what it was. All right. We're gonna cool it off here, boys and girls. Woo. That is a handful, I'll tell you what. Super fun to drive though, and it's still got a lot of Miata left in it. It is very easy to get it into a slide and just manage that slide with a throttle and a little counter steering. It's a very involving car to drive. I am definitely having a bit of a challenge with the 4.3 downshift. I think partly because the T56 is just not the most accurate or snickety of gearboxes, and the way the brake pedal and throttle pedal sit, I'm having to kind of blip the throttle with the top of my foot, which is not ideal, so it's creating a bit of an ergonomic challenge there. But as you can tell, I am huffing and puffing, I'm out of breath, so this car is a workout, I'll give you that. Just pointing my BRZ friend by here, and man, that is a fully involving driving experience. Let's pull it in the paddock here and have a quick chat. I'm a little sweaty now, Peter. That is the world's most manly Miata. That thing is a workout. I feel like I just got out of the gym, but the lap times were extremely consistent. Less than 1/10 of a second between those 3 laps, with a best of a 1:19.98, which frankly is a little slower than I thought we would go, and that's, I think, for a few reasons. First of all, the Pirelli P0s in a 225 on a car with 400 horsepower, it's just not enough tire. It slides everywhere. So as you would have seen from the in-car video, it's very traction limited. It's just a constant game of cat and mouse of sliding and throttling or feathering the throttle to manage wheel spin in the rear. So that's just the most I could get out of the car with those tires on it. And frankly, the P0s are a little underwhelming, I think, in terms of their grip level. The amount of feed and feedback they give you is fairly limited too. They've got a lot of sidewall squish happening too, so it feels like you're kind of driving on balloons. I'm sorry, Pirelli, but I just don't love the P0s, at least not on this size on this car. What else can I tell you? The HSD coilovers felt a little overwhelmed to me as well. The car was doing a little bit of pogoing in the corners, and it was allowing the car to roll a little more than I think it should, and as a result, I was getting some one-wheel peel coming out of some of the tighter corners, even though it does have a clutch pack LSD in the back. I think that maybe the diff was getting either overheated, or it was picking up a tire so much that the diff just couldn't do its job anymore. And so We had a lot of traction issues out of the corners, so even though it's a rocket ship in a straight line, I couldn't really put the power down well out of the corners, and into the corners it was just a matter of like, how much grip can I get out of these 225s? Bit of a challenge. So the car could go 115s with more tire, I think a better coilover setup. I was talking with Brad about maybe some KW Club Sports, which I think would work wonders on this car now. And maybe some tightening up of that diff too, if he finds after the KWs that it still has that problem. But man, this car has huge potential. It's a proper rocket ship. It just needs a little fine tuning, I think, to reach its full potential. But as it is, it's hugely engaging and really fun to drive, as you would expect a V8 Miata to be. So I think we're going to call this one to be continued, everyone, because I'm sure Brad, being the guy he is going to go off and try to make it faster, and I'll hope that he'll let me take it for another rip when that happens. Well, if we've proved anything, it's that a V8 swap Miata is faster than a stock BRZ. No surprise there.